أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you're listening. Welcome to today's column of Hadith Daily. Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you for coming. Today we shall be looking at the virtues of Salah. As we know, Salah is one of the pillars of Islam, which is very, very important, if not the most important. The most important definitely is the belief in Allah, the kalima, and then virtues of Salah comes forward, because if you don't believe in Allah, your Salah is wasted. But if you believe in Allah and your Salah is not intact, then you are still not considered as a believer, because you have broken a golden rule, you've broken a very important rule, which is Salah. So for this reason, we'll be taking hadiths that are related to Salats from time to time, so that people can understand the importance of Salah in Islam, and the benefits that are attached to performance of Salah, as well as the punishments that are attached to the negligence of Salah. So, without wasting much of our time, let's get to the hadith of the day. Welcome once again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah. The Prophet ﷺ is reported to have said, a person neglecting his Salah, even though he makes it up later, shall remain in hell for a period of 1 hakbah. A hakbah is equal to 80 years of 360 days each. 80 years of 360 days each, and a day in the hereafter shall be equal to 1,000 years of the days of the world. 1,000 years of the world, of this world. Let's take the hadiths once again. The Prophet is reported to have said, a person who neglects his Salah, even though he later makes it up, even though he later prays the Salah, for example, he left Zuhr till the period of Ashri, he left Ashri till the period of Maghrib, will remain in the hell for a period of 1 hakbah. A hakbah is equal to 80 years of 360 days. 80 years of 360 days, and a day in the hereafter shall be equal to 1,000 years of this world. What this hadith is saying is telling us about the person who neglects his Salah intentionally. His period for Zuhr, a person just neglects it and say, okay, fine, I will pray it later. What this hadith is telling us that it's a very grievous offense, which could lead to several years inside Jahannam, inside Nar. May Allah protect us against Nar. Abdullah Samarkandi Rahmatullah Ali is responsible for the hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ is reported to have said, the name of the person who neglects even a single fardat salah, even a single fardat salah are the salahs that are very important, that are obligatory. Subhi, Zuhr, Ashri, Maghrib, and Isha. A person who neglects just one of these salah, a single one of this salah intentionally, is written, the name of such person is written on the gate of the hell. Is written on the gate of the hell, which he must enter. Hadrat Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu narrated that once the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Pray, O Allah, cause not any one of us to be wretched, destitute. Cause not any one of us to be wretched, destitute." At the request of the companions, he explained to them, saying, a wretched destitute is he who neglects his salah. A wretched destitute is he who neglects his salah. All these hadiths are pointing to the fact that negligence of salah is a grievous offense. The person who intentionally neglects his salah, thinking that he's going to pray it even in the next hour, is a grievous offense. Last time we read about hadith where Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us three things we must not delay, and the first of these three things is salat. The first of these three things is salat. The moment its time is in, the moment the time has arrived, there is no reason for you to neglect salah. So in this hadith, the Prophet is telling us that a person who neglects salat will enter hell for a period of 1 haqba. And 1 haqba is several thousand years. Several thousand years. If you want to compare to the years we are using in this world. May Allah prevent us from entering hellfire. And most importantly, we must strive for this. Entering Al-Jannah is not free. It is what we do in this world that will determine our place in the hereafter. And one of the things that could lead to Jahannam is negligence of salat. Negligence of salat intentionally. People do this today as if it is nothing. May Allah be pleased with us. Let's look at another hadith in this direction. This hadith is telling us about the importance of praying in the masjid as well as praying with Jamaat. The importance of praying in the masjid as well as praying with Jamaat. Hadrat Kubat bin Ashyam Alayzi radiallahu anhu narrates that he had the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, two persons performing salah together with one as imam are liked by Allah more than four persons saying salah individually. Similarly, four persons performing salah with Jamaat are liked by Allah more than 8 persons saying salah individually. Again, 8 persons performing salah with Jamaat are liked by Allah more than 100 persons saying salah individually. What is this hadith trying to tell us? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is trying to tell us here the importance of saying our Salah in Jamaat. The importance of saying our Salah in Jamaat. In another hadith, it is said, a big Jamaat is more preferred by Allah than a small Jamaat. A big Jamaat is more preferred by Allah than a small Jamaat. Some people think that there is no harm in having a small Jamaat of their own at their houses or at their business premises. This is not correct. As in the first place, they are deprived of the reward of saying their Salah in the masjid, and in the second place, they lose the blessing of Salah with big Jamaat. The bigger the congregation, the more pleasing it is to Allah. When our sole aim is to achieve the pleasure of Allah, why should we not adopt a manner more pleasing to Allah? It is reported in a hadith that Allah is pleased to see three things. Allah is pleased to see three things. Number one, a row of worshippers offering Salah with Jamaat. A row of worshippers offering Salah with Jamaat. Number two, a person busy in Salah at the time of Tahajjud. A person busy with Salah at the time of Tahajjud at the dead of the night. At the dead of the night. And the third is a person fighting in the way of Allah. A person performing jihad in the way of Allah. What this hadith is emphasizing is the benefit of performing Salah in Jamaat. The first one is the first one talks about the preference of two people performing Salah in Jamaat more than four. Four person performing Salah in Jamaat over 8 people, and 8 people performing Salah in Jamaat over 100 people performing it individually. All this is stressing the fact that performance of Salah in Jamaat is more important and more rewarding in Islam in comparison to performance of Salah individually. Rasulullah ﷺ does not encourage performance of Salah individually. And one mistake that people make these days is their performance of Salah in Jamaat, but in their various places. Like there is masjid in a close area, but because there are 2, 3, 4, they believe that okay, let's perform our Jamaat in our shop. This is not good enough, as it is not the practice of the Prophet ﷺ. It is not good enough. First, you lose the reward of performing Salah in the masjid, according to this hadith. And another thing is that you lose the performance of Salah in a large congregation, with a large Jamaat, as Allah prefers a large congregation to a small congregation. So please, if you are used to this idea of performing Salah at home, just because you are 4, you are 5, you believe it is the same thing. No, it is not the same thing. We are supposed to perform our Salah in the masjid with the Imam. You perform your Salah in the masjid. When you perform your Salah in the masjid, you are following the doctrines of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Performing your Salah at home means that you are doing something that is not in accordance with the rules of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There is no two way about it, because there is a masjid close to you. In the days of the Prophet, all Sahabas performed their Salah in the masjid with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and this is what we Muslims of today are supposed to emulate. We're supposed to follow the doctrines of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Anything deviance of this we are not following the rules and the guidance or the culture of the prophet anymore. So please, let's defy from this attitude. Let's follow what the Prophet ﷺ has brought to us as Islam. Don't let us introduce new things. Don't let us do things and say that it doesn't mean. It means. It means a lot. The Prophet said a lot about this on these issues. Performance of Salah with Jamaat and performance of Salah in the masjid. Inshallah, we will still be looking at some other hadiths that talks in this direction. Performance of Salah with Jamaat and other harms that could happen. So a person who neglects his Salah or a person who abandons his Salah. Thank you for watching today's column of Benedict Daily. Jazakumullah khairan. And may Allah reward you, the listeners, as well as the reciter. Inshallah, we shall be bringing the program to an end today, and we shall see in the next column of the hadith. Till then, I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Ma'asalam.
ربنا وجعلنا مسلمين لك ومن ذريتنا